Virgil K. Johnson was born, in his words, at a very young age in Logan, Utah in 1928. His family moved to Sparks, Nevada in 1929, where he spent his childhood.
Working for some of the drugstores in Reno as a delivery boy on my bicycle. I tell my grandkids I was one of the first drug peddlers in Reno. I'd deliver prescriptions on my bicycle.
Kay went on to graduate from the University of Reno, Nevada, with a major in zoology and a minor in botany. His love of nature led him to seek employment with the Nevada Department of Wildlife.
And that was the time of the Korean War, and everybody was going into the service, either getting drafted or whatever. And I had joined the Naval Reserve in, like 1946 or 7 when I was still going to college. So I just signed up for active duty in the Navy.
Kay moved to San Diego for boot camp, where because of his performance in the top 5 of his unit, he was able to choose his own military duty station.
The personnel officer came in and said, "We have 2 openings at the Fallon Naval Auxiliary Air Station. Anybody interested?" And I did a couple handsprings because that was only 60 miles from Reno and I wouldn't have nearly so far to.
In 1955, the Department of Wildlife stationed Kay at Pyramid Lake, which brought him to Fernley to live. Kay felt at home on the waves and shores of Pyramid Lake and grew to love the small town of Fernley.
Did accept the transfer to Pyramid Lake, and as a consequence it was really a beautiful experience. I mean, Pyramid Lake is probably one of the more important fisheries in the state of Nevada.
In 1970, he was left to raise his 4 girls, Debbie, Cheryl, Linda, and Rachel, when his first wife, Agnes, passed away after a battle of cancer.
The closest place to work on Pyramid, to live and work on Pyramid Lake, we thought would probably be Fernley, so we moved to Fernley to a little house on Miller Lane. The community hall was a center of activity for the town, and we used to square dance there I can't remember, it was once a week, once a month. We had the Fernley Square Steppers, and we had 3 or 4 squares going, and that was living it up in downtown Fernley.
Kay eventually remarried to Marilyn Paulson.
We were married in 1977, and she had 5 children, I had 4 children. We put 9 children together. We had 6 teenagers or 6 kids going to college at the same time.
Kay Johnson's service in the Fernley community began with his appointment to the 1st Fernley Sewer District.
When I moved here in October of '55, there weren't a lot of resources in town. To begin with, we didn't have a water system, we didn't have a sewer system. They had a sewer system, but it used to dump out in the desert over by the cement plant.
Kay helped the sewer district outfit Fernley with a properly functioning sewer system. Kay's sewer committee experience eventually led him towards becoming the first chairman of the Fernley Swimming Pool Board.
The people in Fernley, they thought it was great to go swim in the canal, which contained a lot of Reno's wastewater, and then the Truckee River. And one day one of my daughters came home and told me how they'd been swimming in the Truckee River and went over a waterfall and got her hair caught on a log down under the water, and that just scared the heck out of me. I mean, thinking how close I would come to somebody being drowned, and people in the canal, you didn't know. So anyway, a bunch of us got together, and my memory leaves me, but I know Vivian Lyons was one of them, and so we formed a swimming pool committee and started advertising, trying to get interest in a swimming pool.
In 1992, the Fernley swimming pool was opened. Chairman Kay Johnson cut the ribbon and was the first into the pool, in his full dress suit, tie, and slacks.
I'd heard rumors to the effect they were going to throw me in the pool. So I just jumped in with my dress clothes on and paddled around.
Perhaps Kay's greatest legacy is his contribution to Fernley's youth, especially through the Boy Scouts of America organization.
Well, they just had a really great program for boys. I probably like the camping as much as anything, but there was so many skills involved with the Boy Scouts. They have 100 and something merit badges you can get, and I'm sure that a lot of people have probably found their life vocation by doing what they did in the Boy Scouts.
Kay served as Scoutmaster for many years and always returned as Chief Johnson for the Arrow of Light ceremony in full headdress.
And I've seen these young men go from that stage into older young men in the Cubs, and then a lot of our boys have become Eagles. And I was impressed when one Eagle came up to me and said, "I want to thank you for really pushing me on my Eagle." He'd gone into the Marine Corps. And he said, when I graduated from boot camp in the Marine Corps, they automatically pushed me up one rank. They advanced me one rank because of my Eagle Scout badge.
During his 57 years in Fernley, Kay Johnson has been a prime example of how, by small and simple things, are great things brought to pass. As he has humbly served his family and community, he has made an impact on hundreds of lives.
But I think one thing that he's really good at is letting people know how important they are, and just always takes time to talk to people and give them a hug and a Tootsie Roll, and I think just letting people know that they're cared about, and he's got a listening ear. Two words: he loves me.
Well, in fish terms, he'd be a keeper.
Fernley, Nevada is proud to recognize Kay Johnson as a pillar of the community.
Well, I'm reminded of Sherlock Holmes and Watson out camped on the desert for Burning Man. They're camped out there under the stars, and in the middle of the night, Sherlock Holmes pokes Watson in the ribs and he says, "Watson, look up, what do you see?" And Watson looks up and he says, "I see millions of astronomical objects. I see stars and planets and satellites and comets and asteroids." And Sherlock Holmes says, "Well, what does that mean to you, Watson?" Watson says, "It means our Creator has created other worlds. There's animals out there, and there's people, there's other worlds." And he says, "What does it mean to you, Holmes?" And Sherlock Holmes says, "To me it means that someone has stolen our tent."